All right, let's unpack this. History is just full of these gaps, isn't it? These mysteries that stick around and really capture your imagination.
Hmm.
So today we're doing a deep dive into 5 specific ones from the ancient world using the research you brought together.
Yeah, it's a great collection.
We're hopping across continents, different times, cities, bodies, even legendary artifacts. The plan is basically to pull out the most, well, surprising bits about why these things are still mysteries.
And it's a good mix.
Yeah,
That's what I like about this selection. You've got Jordan, Ireland, Britain,
right.
and they really do give you these amazing glimpses into how people lived, what they believed, the environments they faced. It's not just old stones, it's like ancient cold cases.
Ancient cold cases, I like that. Okay, let's start with Petra in Jordan. Huge architectural puzzle, right? Carved into cliffs.
Phenomenal place.
And the sources immediately point out this, like, contradiction. It survived this massive earthquake. That alone is pretty amazing.
It really is. And it tells you something right there. The Nabateans who built it, they were incredible engineers.
How so? What did they do differently?
Well, instead of building up, they carved into the rock.
Mm.
That gives you inherent stability against shaking. Smart.
Okay, so they mastered earthquakes, but I sense a but coming.
Yeah, this is always a but.
Yeah.
While they handled the ground shaking, the research points to something else. A second disaster. A massive flood.
A flood. After surviving an earthquake, that should have leveled the place.
Exactly. And the clue isn't just, watermarks. It's something very specific and quite unexpected mentioned in the sources.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's the clue?
Get this. They found layers of white sand deep inside the city complex.
White sand. But isn't Petra famous for being like red, rose red city?
Precisely. It's a red rock valley. So
Hmm.
finding white sand there is
Yep.
weird. It doesn't belong. It suggests it came from somewhere else entirely.
Okay, so the sand's out of place. Why is that such a big deal? What does white sand mean?
Well, it means two things, really. One, it had to travel a long way,
Yeah.
probably washed down from like higher plateaus or deserts miles away.
Right.
And two, for that kind of sand, that volume of it, to get deposited inside Petra, the flood couldn't have been gentle. It must have been this just raging torrent, really fast, really destructive.
Wow. So the flood might have been the bigger long-term problem than the earthquake.
That's the implication. They probably wrecked their water systems, trade routes.
Mhm.
Maybe that's what really led to the city's decline, long after the shaking stopped. It shows how sometimes it's the follow-up event.
The secondary disaster.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fascinating twist for Petra.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of environments and preservation, let's jump over to Ireland.
Moggs, right. They preserve things incredibly well.
Oh, spectacularly well. Acidic, no oxygen, perfect conditions.
And we're looking at a specific person, the old Croghan Man,
Hmm.
down in Central Ireland. What made him stand out, beyond just being well-preserved?
Well, the details suggest he wasn't just some average guy. The sources point to high status.
How could they tell? A few things. He was tall, suggesting a good diet, likely protein-rich. His hands and nails showed he wasn't doing manual labor, well-groomed, basically.
Okay.
And crucially, he had this armlet, a really distinctive one, made of leather with bronze fittings. That would have been seriously high-status bling in the Iron Age.
An armlet. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds important. More than just decoration.
Definitely. But the theory gets darker. The way he died, combined with the status symbols,
Mm.
it suggests a ritual role. Maybe even a druid.
A druid, really? What's the connection?
Well, the idea is that druids, or perhaps kings associated with them, were linked to worshiping the sun and sky. An old Croghan Man. He met a violent end. Stabbed, nipples cut, decapitated.
Oof. Grim.
Very. And the thinking is, this points towards ritual sacrifice.
Yeah.
Maybe to appease those sky gods during a crisis, a famine, a war, something like
So
that.
his high status might have actually made him a target for sacrifice.
Potentially, yes. It's a chilling thought, but it fits with other bog body finds showing similar ritualistic violence.
Yeah.
And putting him in the bog, that liminal space.
Between worlds.
Exactly. It all points towards something deeply significant, spiritually. A tragic figure, but tells us a lot.
Okay, let's cross the Irish Sea now to Britain. 2 mysteries here. First, the Rollright Stones. Big standing stones.
Classic British megaliths. Up in the Cotswolds, been there forever. People have always been drawn to them.
We don't know why they were built.
Nope. That's the core puzzle.
Yeah.
Their purpose is unknown. Astronomy, burials, rituals, gatherings. We just
Yeah.
We don't have the answer. Complete mystery.
Yet people still go there. The sources mention folklore, right?
Yeah.
And modern beliefs.
Oh, yeah, tons of folklore. The main one is there a king and his men turned to stone by a witch. Classic stuff.
Yeah.
But there's also this modern belief mentioned in the source that the stones have some kind of energizing quality. People go there feeling something.
So the belief persists, even without knowing the original point.
That's what's fascinating, isn't it? A place holds on to its mystique for millennia. That tells you something powerful is going on, whether we understand the origin or not.
Okay, now for the second British site, and this one sounds really strange. Causie. The sources say they found preserved human flesh from the Bronze Age.
Yeah, that's the shocker.
But not in a bog. How is that even possible? Doesn't flesh usually just decay?
It absolutely usually does. We expect bones, maybe hair in very rare cases, but actual soft tissue. Outside of a bog or maybe extreme cold or dry conditions,
Yeah.
it's highly unusual for the Bronze Age in Britain.
So what happened to Causie?
It seems the cave system there just happened to have this unique microenvironment. Stable temperature, weird mineral stuff in the ground, specific humidity. It just accidentally created preservation conditions.
An accident of geology.
That's one possibility. The unique conditions might have just unintentionally preserved remains left there. Tour luck for archaeologists.
Okay, that makes scientific sense. But you said one possibility. What's the other?
The other idea is maybe it wasn't an accident. Maybe people knew.
Knew the cave preserved bodies?
Exactly. Maybe Bronze Age people noticed things didn't decay there, and so they deliberately brought their dead to this specific cave for, well, mystical reasons.
Wow.
Perhaps to keep them intact, to honor them in a special way. What's fascinating here is trying to figure out natural fluke or intentional ritual site. Did they recognize and use this natural phenomenon?
That choice. Yeah, that sums up a lot of archaeology, doesn't it? Trying to read intent from physical evidence.
Precisely.
All right, final mystery, the big one. The legend, the Holy Grail, always linked to the Last Supper.
The ultimate lost artifact, you could say. And yes, the connection is the Last Supper, absolutely.
But the sources you shared had a nuance, right? It wasn't necessarily the cup Jesus used for the wine.
Correct. That's the popular image, the chalice. But the research suggests, while definitely linked to that event, it might not have been the communion cup itself.
If not the main cup, then what?
The thinking leans towards something maybe used for ritual washing, like a special bowl for hand washing before the meal, or maybe another symbolic vessel used for a blessing.
Huh. Still important, but different.
Very important, yes. It would still have held huge significance for the disciples as something Jesus actually used. It grounds it a bit more historically, perhaps, than just the legendary chalice.
But either way, bowl, cup, whatever it was,
Yeah.
its fate after around 30 AD, gone. Pure mystery.
Completely vanished. Just legends, speculation, quests,
Yeah.
no solid trail. That's the enduring enigma.
So what does this all mean? We've covered cities dodging earthquakes but not floods, high-status bog bodies maybe sacrificed, stones we don't understand but feel drawn to, flesh preserved against the odds, and the ultimate lost relic.
What it means, I think, is that the ancient world was incredibly complex, dynamic, and dangerous. People faced environmental disasters, had rigid social structures, deeply held spiritual beliefs that could be, well, lethal.
Yeah.
Seeing these connections, disaster survival, ritual death, persistent belief, legendary objects, it shows how resourceful, how ritualistic, how human they were, and how much we still don't know, how much is open to interpretation.
And that's why these 5 mysteries, the ones from the sources, are so compelling, right? They're specific, they have these weird details like white sand or preserved skin, but they resist easy answers. The past isn't really past.
Not at all. It's still right here asking questions.
Exactly.
And maybe that's the final thought for you listening. If Petra, this huge famous city, could hide the evidence of a catastrophic flood, a game-changing event for centuries, until someone noticed that weird white sand, what else is out there? What other massive secrets about how societies collapsed or how the environment shifted are just lying buried, waiting for us to spot the right tiny clue? What other white sand moments are waiting to happen? We've got to keep looking closely.